The train howled through the darknesses, its iron body trembling as if it feared where it was going. Snow slammed against the windows, melting into dirty streaks under the weak yellow lights of the carriage. The air smelled of oil, cold metal, and old fabric sacked with other people's pastas. The passengers had long since fallen asleep, or pretended to. Silence pressed down heavier than the winter outside. At the very end of the train, Captain Alexei Morozov sat alone. He didn't sleep. His back was straight, shoulders tense, eyes half-lidded but alert. Years at the front had trained him to rest without relaxing, to exist in a permanent state between exhaustion and readiness. His right hand rested inside his coat, fingers curled around a small piece of metal, his dog tag. Scratched, bent, warm from his palm, Morozov stared at his reflection in the dark window. The glass showed a stranger, hollow cheeks, a scar cutting through his eyebrow, eyes that looked older than his 32 years. Every time the train passed a signal light, his reflection flashed red, then vanished again, like muzzle fire in the night. The war was over. That is what the papers said. That is what the officer said when he shook his hand and sent him home with a thin smile and a thick silence. But his ears still rang with explosions. His nose still caught phantom smells, burned fuel, blood, wet earth. He blinked on us, hard, pushing away the memory of a street where half his unit never made it across us. A woman to rows ahead shifted in her seat. Alexei's gaze snapped to her reflection. Civilian caught, teared eyes, not read, still, he counted the distance. 2 seconds to reach her. 1 to the aisle. Instinct, always instinct. The train suddenly slaved. Metal screamed against metal. The lights flickered, on us, to us. Conversations died instantly. Some were farther up the carriage. A child whimpered, quickly silenced by a nervous parent. Outside the windows, there was nothing but forest and darknesses. No platform, no station lights. The train stopped. Alexei's jaw tightened. This wasn't right. No announcement came. No conductor walked the aisle. The silence stretched, thick and unnatural, broken only by the soft ticking of cooling metal. Alexei felt it then, the pressure at the base of his skull, the same feeling he used to jet seconds before an ambush. His fingers tightened around the dog tag. 10, CRACK. The window beside him exploded inward in a storm of glass. Cold air rushed in like a scream. Bullets ripped through the empty seats, shredding fabric and metal. Passengers screamed. Someone fell ill. Alexei was already moving. He dropped to the floor as another burst of gunfire tore through the carriage where his head had been a heartbeat earlier. Glass bit into his coat, his cheek, but pain didn't register. Training took over. He rolled under the seats, but sleeping on shattered glass, breath controlled, mind clear. This wasn't war, this was a hunt. Alexei came up behind the row of seats, his shoulders slamming into the aisle divider as another burst of gunfire tore through the carriage. Screams bounced off the metal walls, raw and panicked. Someone was crying prayers. Someone else wasn't moving at all. He stayed low, counting shots. Short, controlled bursts. Not soldiers, soldiers sprayed when surprised. These shooters were calm, professional. A shadow crossed the broken window. Alexei slipped his coat open just enough to reach inside. His fingers closed around cold steel. The pistol sat heavy and familiar in his hand, like it had been waiting for him all along. He didn't question it. There was no time for questions. A figure vaulted through the shattered window, boots crunching on glass. Dark clothing, no insignia, face hidden behind a scarf and goggles. The man raised his weapon. Alexei fired first. The shot thundered in the enclosed space. The man jerked back, slammed into the seats, and collapsed in a tangle of limbs and blood. The smell of gunpowder instantly filled the carriage, sharp and choking, dragging Alexei straight back to Alois and Stirwell's half a world away. More bullets hit the floor. Clear the car, someone shouted in a low, clipped voice. Alexei moved. He slid down the aisle, staying below seat level, fearing twice more. One bullet shattered a KNE. A scream followed, high and sudden. Anaterman Ducket, Returned Fire. Rounds punched through the tin metal walls, sparks spraying inches from Alexei's head. He rolled into a seat row, grabbed the edge, and flipped the inner bench forward. It crashed down, knocking one attacker off balance. Alexei rose just long enough to fire point blank. The man dropped it without a sound. The screams of civilians had turned into stunned silence. Those who could still scream had fled toward the next carriage. Alexei didn't look at them. He couldn't afford to. A mercenary rushed him from the front of the car, knife flashing. To a close for gunfire. Alexei stepped inside the swing, trapped the wrist, and slammed his elbow into the man's throat. Cartilage cracked. The knife clattered to the floor. Alexei drove the attacker into the wall and finished it with a single shot. The last one tried to retreat through the door. Alexei shot him in the back. Silence crashed down as suddenly as the attack had begun. Alexei stood still, chest rising and falling slowly, pistol raised, waiting for the echo of footsteps that didn't come. Smoke drifted through the carriage. The emergency lights blinked red, batting the bodies in a dull, pulsing glow. 4 men lay dead around him. Not random, not thieves, not fanatics. He moved to the nearest body, nudged it with his boot, then knelt and searched the pockets. Military-grade radio, no documents, no insignia, clean, clean. Outside, engines growled, low, powerful, multiple vehicles. Alexei straightened, every muscle curling tight. Through the broken window, headlights cut through the forest darknesses, spreading across the snow like hunting dogs unleashed from their chains. This wasn't about the train. It was about him. A calm voice suddenly echoed from somewhere beyond the trees, amplified but controlled. Captain Morozov, it said. We know you survived the front. Alexei raised his pistol toward the sound, eyes cold, heart steady. And we know what you brought back with you. Alexei didn't wait. He vaulted out of the shattered window, landing in the cayenne deep snow with the crunch of ice under his boots. Cold beat through his coat, stinging his face, but he barely noticed. His eyes adjusted instantly to the darknesses, scanning the tree line, every shadow a possible threat. The Savas were parked just beyond the tracks, engines idling like predators, black shadows hunched in the snow. Spotlights swung, cutting ribbons of white through the night. He moved, fast, low, calculated. Every step was deliberate, sealing against the frozen earth. The snow muffled his boots, but the crack of broken branches under enemy boots reminded him that they were hunting him. From the trees, 2 men emerged, rifles aimed. Reflexively, Alexei dove behind the trunk of a dead pine, rolling just as the first shot splintered the tree. Bullets bit into the bark where his head had been a heartbeat earlier. He fired back blindly, counting on instinct. 1 man went down, the other vanished into the shadows. A helicopter's rotor whinnied in the distance, searching, sweeping. Heat lamps from the Savas illuminated flashes of Martian, enemies flanking, surrounding, closing in. Alexei gritted his teeth and calculated. He was alone, no backup, no reinforcements. Just him and the memory of war, sharpened into something like skill and something darker, survival. He darted toward a crumbling brick wall, half buried in snow, using it as cover. A mercenary stepped into the open, silhouetted by the headlights. Alexei fired twice, the crack echoing through the forest, and the man fell backward with a wet thud. The echoing sound of metal doors slamming on the Savas meant the rest were advancing, tactical and precise. He pressed on, heading deeper into the woods. Branches whipped his face and arms, but adrenaline burned through exhaustion. Snow caked on his boots, freezing his movement slightly, yet he kept moving. He was counting on one thing: they couldn't follow him forever, and he knew the terrain better than they did. From somewhere behind, a voice carried over a megaphone. Captain Morozov, stop running. We don't want to hurt you yet. Alexei paused, eyes narrowing. The calm, professional tone confirmed it. This was no random attack. This was a planned hunt, and they knew exactly who he was. He crouched, scanning for escape routes. A frozen creek cut through the terrain ahead, Jagged eyes glinting under the moonlight. He didn't hesitate. Sliding down, he broke through the thin ice in one spot, plunging into freezing water. The cold stole his breath, stole the fire from his lungs for a moment, but he emerged, gasping, and kept running. Snow clung to his coat, making him heavier, but also masking his heat. Behind him, shouts erupted, frustration, coordination, commands. They were losing patience. He pressed forward, deeper into darknesses, toward the one place he knew could drive him leverage, the ruins of an old factory on the outskirts of town. Its crumbling walls, half-collapsed roof, and labyrinth of rusting machinery were a perfect trap or a perfect hideout. Alexei's lips curved into a faint, grim smile. Let them come. The hunt was on, but this was a game he had learned to play years ago. He was alone, yes. But he was not helpless. Not anymore. And the front was never really behind him.